how
Yeah.
you can use these platforms to basically choose a model. Should I go back to you and show the
Yeah,
GitHub models
let's
platform?
do it. Yes. So GitHub Marketplace is actually another space where you can test out all of these models. AI Foundry is one of the places where you can test this. And also, there is an option to deploy your app. If you design it in the AI Foundry, you can deploy to a web app or you can deploy to Copilot Studio right away. But here in the GitHub Marketplace, there's a pre-marketplace where you can choose models and you will be able to test out models for free for basically a couple of tokens. So here there was one question in chat: if SLM is dead, if why you're not using SLM is going nowhere. We can definitely use SLM for our scenarios too. It depends on which scenario you want to go for. But here in this demo, let's start with OpenAI GPT-4o Mini for my scenario. It's not a complex scenario. I just want to show you how you can actually leverage the GitHub model playground. So just like Bruno did in AI Foundry, I want to put a system prompt here, which is a bit funny and not super serious, but you're a grumpy assistant only answering questions about rubber ducks. And when I say hi, then I'm assuming that my model will reply a bit grumpy and also will ask me to ask about rubber ducks mostly. Do you have a question about rubber ducks? So if I ask like, how is the weather? Then I'm assuming it will get really angry. So I don't know about the weather. And if I ask, what is your favorite? But it says that I don't have favorites, but rubber ducks come in all sorts of colors and styles. So it understands that I'm asking about rubber duck. The behavior may differ between the models. For example, instead of using OpenAI, we can use another model like Mistral Large, and we can test out the same prompt here and see the behavioral changes. I'll try to ask similar questions here and see the result by comparison. These platforms are really great to see which model is the best for you, for your system prompt, for the tokens you need, for all of the setup you need, and see that, you know, if this model is good for your setup, then you can actually bring it into your app. I can again ask about what is the weather like. This model is definitely more rude, first of all. So I get a really long and angry answers. I'll also go ahead and ask, what is your favorite? And I'm assuming now it will answer, I just know about rubber ducks now. This model is definitely so angry with me, but you get the point that each model will give you different benefits for your own scenario. You can basically use these playgrounds to understand how model works and if it is beneficial for you. Once you decide that this model is best for my scenario, you can hit use this model and see that there are a bunch of language choices available. We can actually use the SDK we want and see how we can actually bring this model into our environment, our app. You can either choose the Mistral AI SDK or Azure AI Inference SDK, and you can choose the model you want, and you will see that the guidance here will change accordingly. You can use your personal access token on GitHub, or you can use Azure AI services pay as you go here. And this is the place where you can get step-by-step guidance, how you can install dependencies, run the basic code sample, and explore more samples to understand how model actually works. And finally, you can add more capabilities in your model, like streaming, etc., and understanding the rate limits a little bit. For you to understand the AI inference SDK a little bit, I also have another demo for you. This is actually available in our repo for this session, AI to generative AI in Azure session. If you quickly go to GitHub models section in session delivery resources. You'll be able to find out this demo right away. We have a video in the demo section. We have a insurance claim video recorded by a person, let's say, and we're going to use a model to capture this video and basically divide this into a piece of frames, images, so that we will create a insurance claim report. So that's the reason why we're going to use the AI model here, and we have a Jupyter notebook here to go ahead and test this out quickly. So first, in the inference SDK, I will just run and get the dependencies. And the second, we will create 14 different frames, meaning that 14 different images in our frames folder. And as you can see, it's now generated. And we had different images from the video to capture what are the issues in the car. And then next, we will hit our endpoint and we will actually, as you can see here, we will generate the claim report. And in the first section 1, we need license plate, car make, car model, all of these details. Section 2, we need car damage, per damage in a list. And section 3, we need exactly 6-sentence description of the car damage. So all of these will be created by our model GPT-4o Mini. And if you scroll down, you can see that the incident report is created by our model. So the playground is basically for us to test out everything about the model and understand how the settings work, if this is helpful for us. And when it comes to using these models in our own application, then we would need some of the SDKs like AI Inference SDK, for example, to bring them into our own space in our own production ready scenario. So yeah, so this is what I wanted to show. Quickly handing back to Bruno. We have a couple more minutes left and some more cool demos to share.
Yes, hey, this is amazing. And by the way, I love this demo. I use this demo a lot because this is literally putting image recognition or image analysis or more on the next level. What's happened here is
Exactly.
that based on the set of images that we will provide to the model, and by the way, you can run this using GitHub models. Aika said it's easy. Uh, it's going to try to understand the context and it's going to give this information. But you can do more. Like an example, give this in JSON format. So it's going to generate the JSON. Give me this in different languages. You're going to have the whole car insurance demo running in 2 languages with the output in English and Spanish and French and more. And at the end of the day, what you are doing there, and this is to answer a couple of questions that you have in the chat, you are basically doing programming, but using natural language. You are programming in English. You are telling the model to do something for you. So if you really learn how to prompt, if you really learn how to do these kind of things, you are going to have amazing tools going to you. There was another question. Let me go back here around evaluation. So how we can evaluate the model. And yes, this is part, and before moving to the next topic, 2 minutes here, this is part of the set of tools that we have. So I don't have any evaluation here created, but one of the tools that we have, as you can see here, part of AI Foundry, is evaluation, where you can create automated evaluation that you can run from time to time. You can create a set of manual evaluation where you can provide a set of inputs and outputs, the model you want to test, and you can see the model that you want to test with the temperature, the response, and more, and you have the output here, and you can automate all of this. You can even, if you have your model connected to your data, and this is a full set of other, if we start here, we are not going to end, but you can connect the model to your data so you can start to do more. You can run this evaluation. So this is super important to evaluate your model. I also was sharing there, if you want to take a look, there is an extension for Visual Studio Code. It's called AI Toolkit that also allows you to run evaluation, and it's mostly focused on models that you want to start locally and then move to the cloud. But there are different ways that we can do evaluation, and this is important. The other topic that we want to talk is that, yes, I don't want to say, is the safe and when we talk about responsible AI tooling, we have here the content filter. And as we saw earlier, this is one of the tools that we have, and it's very, very basic, but it's super powerful. So we are going to define, select the connection, one sample connection. We are going to define a set of input and output filters And these filters are going to be based on categories. So violence, hate, sexual, self-harms, and more. I can define how they're going to, what is the threshold to block low, to block everything. It's going to be applied also multimodal in text and images. So we're going to apply there. And we also have, and this is important, we also have jailbreaks attacks. If someone wants to hack a model, because this runs in the input and the output, it's going to detect the jailbreak intention and it's going to filter that and trigger a warning and more. We can apply, and we have a block list, and we can do several things. We have also an output material. We can see here that we have some protected material for text, protected material for code, if you are using a mode to generate code, to edit code and more. And when we have this, the whole idea is I can apply this to one of my models. So I can define a custom content filter and apply to one of the models that I'm going to later be going to use in my application. And hey, this is going to basically give us an extra set of tools to have much more powerful models there when we can filter inputs, outputs, and more. So going back here, going back to what we are talking, let's talk a little about what is coming next. And no surprises here. We're going to talk about agents because everybody's talking about agents. And I think it was 3 weeks ago, our friends from OpenAI, they released the operator, which is basically an agent that can interact with your browser and do a lot of stuff. Last week or a couple of days ago, they launched the deep research, which is another agent, autonomous agent that is going to help you to analyze the web for a topic and create deep research. We don't have a lot of time to go deep here, but we want to share that we have tools in Azure to create agents. So you can create your agent. And the key words here is it needs to be autonomous, it needs to run by its own, but it's also going to use a large language model, and it's going to basically provide an interface with this natural language that we all like, but it's also going to be able to connect to external systems like your data, a file system, a web search, interact with whatever and more. So this is something that we really, really want to have here. And let me show you 2 samples here. First of all, we have, let me go back to my slide here. We have, as we say at the beginning, let me go to one of the hubs that I have here. In the playground, it's taking some time. Let me go back here. We have an assistant playground. And the assistant playground, with what we have here, is we can define an ID for the system, a name, which is the model that is going to use, and also we can define the instructions. And here, we can also add the chance to add a file search, and we can connect this search to a vector store. This vector store can be maybe Azure AI Search or Quadrant on Pinecone, any vector store that you want. So the assistant is going to also have this. You can also add a code interpreter here, which is also super cool and fun if you want to do some data analysis and more, because the models are good, but when you ask the model, in example, to solve a math problem, sometimes the model gets stuck. So what we are doing right now is the model is smart enough to understand, oh, this is a math problem. So instead of trying to complete my next token and solve the math problem, what I am going to do, I am going to generate code, usually Python code, that is going to solve the problem, run the code, and then get the output of the code, which is 99, maybe 100% of the time, the right answer there. So we have all of these tools. So what I want to show you here, because we don't have time to do everything, let me show you an example of this. So I'm going to go to my resource group, and here I have one of the demos, which is the creative writer. So this is a full set scenario. This is open source. I will share the link in the chat if you want. So this is a full set scenario where we have a front end, and let me open the front end of a creative writer. And the creative writer uses 3 agents internally. It uses a researcher, it uses a marketing product specialist, a writer, I'm sorry, there are 4, a writer and also an editor. And the way that this is going to work is we are going to ask the researcher to search online for a topic. Then the writer is going to get the output from the researcher that found 3, 4, 10, whatever found online, and is going to write a story using some information. At the same time, the marketing team will going to say, hey, we have products that may fit in that story, so also use them in your story. And at the end, we're going to have an editor that is going to validate this. So let me find, I lost my notes here. And let me find the template of where are my researcher. But okay, let's copy this if we want. And let's give this a try. And this is the input that we have. Can you find the camping trends in 2024 and what folk are doing this winter? Use a selection of trends, underwriting, writer fun and engage in articles that include the research and more. So let's run this and let's see how it's going to do. First of all, the researcher is going to search online. And by the way, there it is. So it's doing some search online. So found 2 for camping trends, found 2 for winter camping trends and more. So this is the researcher information that we have here. So this is an agent that found some information. The next step, we'll try to see, hey, oh my God, getting a lot of info. So getting information from camping tents from our result. If we are working in a company that sells camping products, that probably makes sense. So the marketing agent found some products. So now the writer writes the story and discover the hottest campaign, write the story about the hottest campaign. And then at the end, we are going to have the editor. So the editor is going to say, hey, there is some review here. And the editor have some specific instructions. So you need to have clarity, you need to have use transitional phases, and consistency and more. So with this, the editor but give back this to the writer. The writer is going to write a new story, and we are going to have a back and forward between the editor. I think we defined that it's going to happen 10 times maybe, and that is going to give us. But this is a write. Okay, it's starting to write. Yes, it's it's approved. So the editor say we are fine. We can move forward. But I hope that it makes sense, because this is really what we want to share and show with you, that we have this chance, we have this tool to basically create agents. This is a set of agents talking between each other. And I know that we have 4 more minutes, and I don't know if you have any last minute question. In the meantime, let me share this QR where you
Yeah.
can start to take a look at everything that we are doing, the next sessions and more. And I don't know.
In the meantime, maybe I can announce a couple of things. So,
Yes.
first of all, if we couldn't answer your question in the chat, tomorrow, actually in Azure AI Discord channel, we are hosting a Q&A session. Me and Bruno will be there to answer your questions. Don't miss that session. If you have more questions, we will be answering your question particularly. So there won't be any presentation. It will be only for Q&A. So if you're willing to discuss some of the specific parts of what we just talked about, please join our Discord session too. Second of all, and the most exciting one, Cloud Skills Challenge is starting now, today. So if you go to ak.ms/generative AI level up Tuesdays -blog, you will find out all the information about the Discord channel Q&A or the Cloud Skills Challenge. But we definitely encourage you to join the Microsoft Learn Challenge. And if you're interested in diving deeper and learn more, I think those challenges are the best to understand deeper what we are just talking about, basically going hands-on to test out yourself, etc. So that's the second thing I wanted to announce. And finally, don't miss out other sessions in Level Up Tuesdays. There will be more coming right after us, week by week. So you will be diving deeper into the world of generative AI. Okay, so more questions. If there are a little bit more questions, we can answer. We have 3 minutes left for now.
Yes, no, I saw a lot of people saying thanks. No, it's a pleasure. As you see, we really like this. We really are passionate about this. We are building a lot of things with this, so please give it a try. As we said, you just need a GitHub account and you can test using GitHub models. If you want to go a little up, you can also go to Azure, test the same model there. I saw there was a couple of amazing questions around small language models and large language models. Happy to talk more tomorrow in the office hours there. No, I think we are there. And I saw some question around certifications around the after the, I don't know. There is a lot to do, but let me pick one, a random one. So this one. That's an easy one. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Can developers use these services through APIs to build application? Yes, that's the whole idea. If you want to run your own application, if you want to add some AI capabilities to your application, if you want to build your application, we saw we have the APIs. The APIs are there. We have also a lot of best practices about how we can use the APIs. And hey, later is your language of choice. If you want to do JavaScript, Python, C Sharp, Java, whatever, or if you even want to use a low code application that have the feature and capabilities to call an API, you can even do that one there. So yes, we have this. Aika, I don't know. You want to add something for this one?
No, not really. We have 1 minute left, and I'm stressing out. So if you have more questions, join us tomorrow in our Q&A session. We have more time to talk about all these in detail. So don't miss the chance to ask your questions tomorrow in the Discord channel. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Bruno.
Say Aika. Goodbye.
Bye.